This is most people's warm-ups. It's 5 minutes on the cross trainer, a couple of ankle grabs, some arm swings, and then we go straight in, one little warm-up set, maybe on the bench press, and then it's full power, full steam ahead. The warm-up provides us with a great opportunity to add so many cool things to your program that you could argue that the warm-up itself might be the most important thing you do, or equal to the rest of your workout from a performance and a ability maintenance perspective. I've said this many times before, but I feel as if bodybuilding has hijacked the health and fitness industry. And as a result, most people, or most trainers who train people in the gym, train people like aspiring bodybuilders. Most people who go to workout programs are essentially using bodybuilding style training programs. But there's a problem with that. This is what bodybuilding is good at. It's good at building muscle, it's good at addressing nutrition, and it's good at creating positive habits like consistency. But on the other side here is what bodybuilding isn't good at. It isn't good at speed, power, acceleration, deceleration, impact absorption, change of direction, balance, coordination, timing. All of these things are things that are pretty much exclusively left out of the bodybuilding workout template. Now, the good thing is all of these skills and abilities are things that can be easily incorporated into a more advanced or extended warm-up. And this warm-up, instead of being a token gesture, becomes a vital and important cog in the wheel of your overall general health and fitness. Now, when it comes to the warm-up, you can easily change warm-up to session preparation, because the warm-up isn't just there to get you warm, it's there to prepare you for the main objective of the session. As a result of this, some of the more advanced exercises go from being just a low-key, mild warm-up kind of movement. They get more and more advanced and more dynamic, or more intense, and they end up almost crossing over into those first important exercises that you do. So you might be thinking at this stage, well, hang on a minute, if I'm going to spend 20, 25 minutes warming up, how am I going to get the rest of my workout done, my main exercises? Research, or modern research, because things have moved a long way from the way we used to do things when people used to just use Flex magazine as their kind of science-backed routine. Things have moved on, and the research indicates, especially when it comes to muscle growth, building strength, that people are doing way too much work in the gym, using the old-fashioned prescriptions of sets and reps for bodybuilding. Less is more, as long as that less is of a very high quality. So in reality, you have plenty of time to do the long warm-up and to get your main body of the session done. And the crossover between the two is really an important part of the whole process. So let's look at some of the drills that you can start adding to your program that turn your warm-up into session preparation and move it away from just a token gesture. Bear in mind that these exercises aren't just there also to kind of build muscle and strength. They're there to help with your ability, your motor control, coordination, spatial awareness, balance. All of these things will help with your longevity. So let's start with the more low impact things that we would do at the beginning of the session. I'm talking about foam rolling and mobility. These are things that I don't particularly enjoy, but they need to be done. What we know and what science tells us about the aging process is that as you get older, and I can attest to this, you start getting stiffer, you start becoming less mobile, especially if you lift a lot of weights. You need to counter this with the right training protocol. That's why every session should start with at least 5 minutes of foam rolling to iron out all those knots, create an even playing field. Then you move into your mobility exercises that work a bit more on your flexibility and your range of motion. Once you've done this, you're ready to move into something a little bit more dynamic. Another thing we can bring into the warm-up is coordination and timing. These are super important things that we neglect and we get less efficient at. These are things that basically connect your brain to your eyes, to your hands, to your outer extremities. It's a three-dimensional world we live in. We don't move just forward on a sagittal plane. We have all the different planes that we, in reality, operate. So this involves movements done using the whole body, full body coordination, or they could revolve around just using your eyes and your hands, for example, with reaction sticks. These are simple things that we can do that just start to tune the brain in, make you more spatially aware. When I use some of these drills, the first round is pretty ropey. And as your brain wakes up, it starts to communicate with the body, and you get better and better as time goes on. Examples of full body coordination are things that are a bit more dynamic. Maybe in your warm-up, you've got the karaoke, you've got butt kicks, you've got lateral shuffles, and probably the king of full body coordination is the SAQ ladder. SAQ stands for speed, agility, and quickness. I like to add a C at the end of that: speed, agility, quickness, and coordination, because it doesn't have to be a maximal drill. If you're an athlete, then you're going to be using it at full speed with foot speed. But as a warm-up drill, it can be done at a more gentle pace, and it can be used to help coordinate the brain and the feet, because what I've found with a lot of clients is the client knows what movements they need to do, but there's a delay in this information process, and the feet start getting left behind and the brain's finished on the ladder already. So it's an important drill that connects you with your feet. And I think it's well worth incorporating as a simple set of ladder drills to help with your coordination. Another crucial skill that gets worse as we age is balance. As we get old, the motor units basically deteriorate. And even if you recognize you're falling, you don't have the ability to fire those motor units to stop the fall. It's not necessarily a loss of muscle, it's the loss of ability. We know that when you get older, if you fall, you end up with a walking stick. From a walking stick, you'll go to a wheelchair. From a wheelchair, you'd go to a bed. From there, you're in hospital, you get an infection, and you die before you need to die. So balance is a crucial skill, and it's very easy to implement into your sessions. You can even add it to your main session. Balance can be something as simple as just standing on one leg. It could be something standing on one leg, having touch points in different planes of motion. It can also be used where you have a tool you stand on that creates an uneven playing field. Important to incorporate and very easy to incorporate. Next, we're moving on to something a bit more dynamic: power. Power is an important skill to be able to maintain, because you might need power in an emergency. You might need to save your own life. Jump, move, explode, forwards, backwards, laterally. Where you can train for power is things like your jumps, box jumps, forwards, laterally, backwards. And you can also use ball work, explosive ball passes, throws, lateral movements, rotations, overhead movements. Again, an easy thing to incorporate into your workout. Best place for acceleration is on a sled track or an outdoor area. And realistically, you can do acceleration or deceleration training anywhere you have a decent floor that has some grip to it and you have a bit of space. And again, acceleration and deceleration doesn't need to be forward sprint and then decelerate. It can be backwards, it can be laterally. You have to be able to exert force and then reverse that force with deceleration. Important life-saving skill. Aerobic fitness, another thing that works well in your warm-up, because in reality, you don't need to train like a marathon runner and spend a long time working on your aerobic fitness. It can be something as simple as a run or a row. I recommend just timing yourself doing 400-meter and 800-meter runs, because in reality, that's as long as anyone is going to need to run in an emergency. And just time them. You set a standard. There you know where you are all the way through. Oh, I've lost a bit of time in the 400. I need to work on my aerobic fitness. If you can't run, then the rower is a great alternative. Anaerobic fitness, this is your high threshold, maximal effort work. And I'm talking about it more from the perspective of a kind of sprint. Again, running fast on an air runner outside, these are your best methods of working on your kind of outright speed and your anaerobic fitness. But in reality, anaerobic fitness can be worked in lots of different ways. It's just maximal short bursts of energy. A great tool you can use is the assault bike, because the assault bike allows you to work absolute balls to the wall, maximal effort, with almost zero mechanical problems in terms of your joints. It's not hard on the impact, it's not hard on the joints, but you can really go hell for leather and get the benefits of that anaerobic fitness. A lot of these drills have a huge amount of crossover. Speed and acceleration, coordination, they can all work, for example, in an agility ladder. Balance, coordination, again, can work with some of your other exercises. The trick is to have them and have the thought to include them in your program. So what's the solution? How do we include them in your program? Let me go through a simple breakdown of what a modified or extended warm-up could look like.